It's a bootlegkev.com exclusive.
It's Power 98.3, man. Ready, Set Radio. You already know what it is. We live on the bus right now. This guy has got the #2 album in the country. Independently, I might add. All the way from Seattle, man. We got to welcome the homie Macklemore to the show. What's up, brother?
Man, I'm chilling, man. Out here in Arizona.
Hey, you actually went to the mall today and you got yourself a traditional Mexican getup. You got the ostrich boots.
Right here.
Shingo Bling would be proud of you, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, I kind of cut some corners. You know,
you got the belt buckle, too.
I got the belt buckle. All of this is definitely not ostrich. Like, I had the option to get ostrich.
You had the option to get the real ostrich or the fake ostrich.
At least the shoes and the belt, but you know, I was
it's a good look.
I feel like I'm gonna pull it off.
I feel like
it's Halloween time.
It's perfect
on a budget in Arizona.
Hey, let's talk about your album, The Heist, with Ryan Lewis. You guys, to me, really made like some serious history. We kind of talked off, the air a little bit, but I really feel like this is one of the first times, like, I feel like a truly independent hip hop album is really like came out of nowhere, man. I wouldn't necessarily say it came out of nowhere, but to the big labels, to like traditional hip hop fans, are like, who the hell is this Macklemore guy?
Yeah.
Like, did you expect, like, what did you expect to happen when the album came out? Did you even expect anything, was that even in your head going #2?
No, definitely not. Like, I get SoundScan every week. I do my homework. I study the industry. And I thought that we would do like 28 to like 33. And we
which
ended
would be
up
still
doing,
a great look.
Which would be a great look.
Amazing.
I was like, as long as we break 20, I'm going to be happy.
Right.
And we did 78. So I had no idea. I didn't think, I think and there's a lot of contributing factors to it, but, we streamed it like a week early on NPR. And people, that link really got around. I didn't even think that it would get around like that. I thought that we might be able to hit some like older demographic or people that weren't really our fans. And, it blew up with our fans. It blew up, with people that had never heard of us. And it just kind of went from there. And people really liked the music. So I think that a stream can kind I you if the music's good. I think
it can hurt you if it's not.
And people liked it. So
definitely
I think
can hurt
definitely
you if it's
helped.
Yeah. There's something that I really respect you for, and that's, I always feel like the whole gay marriage issue is like our civil rights movement.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
As far as equal rights to all human beings, I think it's amazing to see an MC come out with like a song like "Same Love" it's such a beautiful record.
Thank you, man.
When you put that out, like, were you scared, like, any sort of like blowback from the hip hop community? Because man, hip hop is a homophobic genre. It's I mean, I think it's finally starting to move away from that. Guys like yourself who stands up for that kind of thing, and then with Frank Ocean coming out, that was major.
Definitely.
But were you like iffy at all about it? Or?
Yeah, I was definitely you write a record like that and you're like, how are my peers going to react to
very
this?
honest record too.
Yeah. Like when I was in the 3rd grade, I thought that I was gay. Like,
right.
That's the first 2 bars of the song, or the first bar of the song.
And some random kid in Harlem hears that, they're probably like, who? What the?
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell?
So I was aware of that. To me, you put it on a scale, and you're like, am I worried about those, like, those people that are going to judge me? And take it for, whatever they want to take it as, but judge me and label me and not agree with my stance on it? Or am I going to think about humanity and the masses and the civil rights issue that it is? And you put it on a scale, and it's a no-brainer to put that out. I was definitely, a part of me was scared, but I think that that's where some of the best music comes from, is like shit that challenges me, that makes me like question, is this the right move? Is this something that people are going to accept? It doesn't matter. Like, it comes down to what I believe in, and that's a record and a stance that I believe in, and I'm glad it actually, it's not the type of song. There's definitely been fans that are like, oh, Macklemore, I lost all respect for you.
Really?
Like, you read YouTube comments and shit. People are definitely
still ignorant.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the support has completely outweighed it, and the message has really got down there, and that's what's important.
That's what's up, man. I just watched the mini little documentary that dropped a few days ago.
Yeah.
Was it Jabari?
Yeah, Jabari.
Yeah. It was really dope, and I saw that I've grown up in a family full of people who have been addicts, and in the interview or in the documentary, I didn't know that you had an addiction and you had gone to rehab.
Yeah.
What, if you don't mind sharing, what was your choice, or what was your addiction?
Yeah, I was just like always the type of dude that never had any sort of moderation. Like the first time that I drank alcohol, I was 14, 15 years old, in the kitchen by myself, listening to Pac. I took like 15 shots because I was like, "Oh, this
listening
feels."
To Tupac.
Yeah, like in the wife beater in the kitchen, like 90 pounds, taking 15 shots, feeling myself and by myself. Like I never had moderation from that very first time, and as I got older, mostly it was alcohol and weed. Like I smoked weed like a broke Wiz Khalifa. Like I didn't ever know when to stop, so it was just like the first thing I would do was just smoke a blunt, and the day would persist on that type of tip. And I was just broke and unhappy, and I could never write music in that state. Like a lot of people, your Wiz,
a lot of people flourish,
and
Lil Wayne,
Wayne, like tons of people, like that's their lifestyle, and they're able to be productive.
Right.
And I could just never write like that. I could like freestyle and I could perform, not to the best of my ability, but I could do it. But in terms of writing raps, I just stare at the paper. So, and then, you have like some pills and some cough syrup, and as it got bad towards the end, but it was mostly just having no moderation with any substance at all.
So it was just a lot of things.
Yeah, it was a lot of things. And, my pops finally came to me and was like, you're 26 years old or 25 years old, whatever I was, and what are you doing? Like, if you're going to do this music thing, like, do it, but you can't do it continuously, like, getting messed up like this. So I finally went to treatment and, really got the tools that I needed to, remain sober.
That's great. See, that's dope that you talk about that kind of thing, because it's not really the coolest thing in the world to be a sober hip hop artist.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Who supports gay marriage?
Who supports gay marriage on top of that?
Whack. Nah, I mean, but that's a way that my story isn't a conventional or like a stereotypical story, and I think that's why people have been able to relate to me, because addiction is a big part of our society in general, just part of humanity.
Whether it's food, whether it's whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Like addiction, and I think that if you share about it in a way that's not like preaching, but is honest, and you hold yourself accountable, people can relate to it, and that's what's happened.
When did you start rapping? What age did you know, like, hey, I'm sure you were rapping when you were a kid, or you messing around with it, but
sure.
I mean, I was like in high school trying to write raps, because I was such a little hip hop head, but they were terrible. But
sure. So am I.
What point at a time were you like, you know what, I'm gonna be a rapper? Like, this is what I'm gonna pursue.
You know what? I don't think that there was ever like a distinction between like being like a hobby rapper and like I'm gonna do this. There was obviously like a financial difference that happened at some point, but in terms of like when I first started rapping, 14 years old, I was like, I'm gonna rap. Like I'd wanted to rap since I was in like 3rd grade.
Of course.
So
taking shots while listening to Tupac.
Yeah, right around then. And but I'd always wanted to be on stage. I was just that little wild kid that was like, man, I'm trying to perform at the family gatherings and wild out,
that's dope,
and lip sync and talent shows. And I remember we had a little group that we formed that Diggable Planets was real popping when I was in like 3rd grade.
Diggable Planets used to be my shit, man.
And we I was like Butterfly, and we got a homegirl to be what was her name? Ladybug and Doodlebug, and we used to just always mess around and want to be performers. So it just kind of was a natural progression once hit 14, 15, and bought a karaoke tape deck, and the rest was history.
Now,